We're talking to Stephen Ward from Deloitte Digital Consulting. Stephen, what is the value of Internet of Things? Why do we have it?
Internet of Things really brings a lot of opportunities for organizations. I think value is the key to the discussion we've been having today, is where is the value? Many people talk about it, but really where is the value? So we really look at the value in the information that IoT and sensors enables, turning dark things into to insight from physical things. So we really look at use cases at the moment where we're seeing values really in predictive maintenance, in track and trace, as mainly where the industrial Internet of Things is driving value, and really the level of value is really dependent on the velocity of the information, the type of information, and whether you're able to close what we call the loop. Closing the loop is really the only way to drive value, and looking at that from timeliness perspective, the magnitude of information, and really looking at use case by use case.
That's like an information value loop model that you introduced.
Yeah, so we talked in the session just about the information value loop and really identifying where the bottlenecks today are in the information value loop. So
It looks a bit like plan, do, check, act, right?
Yeah, we call it think big, start small, scale fast is our motto. We talked a lot about the how today and not the what and the why. I think many people have had that conversation and are ready to act.
Yeah, it's fun, we like it, it's there. Now how can we make money?
Yeah, indeed, that's the key question, and we use that model to really look at a client's process as an organization. Where do they have data out of sensors today? Where would they need that? And how to bring that together. So, you've always had a sensor in your engine in the car, where a red light came on when your oil was low. Increasingly with connected cars, 2 days before your oil is low, there's already been information sent to your garage to pre-book you in for a service, and that's really value in the customer experience. But where we're seeing the early value is really in the industrial world, so very much in the B2B space, so very much people talk about B2C cases, connected toothbrushes, etc. But really the real value in the first wave is in the industrial space and increasing.
Why is that?
Because the efficiencies that you can bring out of operations, so whether it's fixing a machine before it breaks, and not having the cost of downtime, not having the cost of the service engineer.
So the hard dollar value creation is easier?
It's easier in the industrial world because of the scale. And that's been really the operational value. So whether you see GE doing that globally or other big manufacturers, that's the first wave. But there is, obviously the opportunity in B2C, and that's really where a lot of the public today were looking at where's the value also in the B2C space. And our key message is it's identifying where the bottlenecks are. It's not about putting sensors everywhere and collecting data. It's actually putting sensors in places that will drive insight from assets. So many clients have already sensors, but they do nothing with the data. So that's step number one. Step number two is identifying where the value is, putting sensors in place to capture that value, working with IoT partners, and really iteratively experimenting. So we talked about agile way of experimentation, and really once you've got success, on the edge of your organization, protect that organization, bring the right skills to the table, and really then scale it fast.
So you have examples of companies that are doing well in this area?
I think most organizations are in the early phases, so I'm not sure there's one organization that's really cracked the nuts yet. Whether it's a number of the airports, whether it's here in Amsterdam or globally, I think the areas of operations is starting to emerge. We work with organizations like Caterpillar globally around looking at the location of their assets and moving into a platform model.
Isn't that one of the problems, that we don't have real good customer cases to present to our boards?
I think you're right. I think it's early days and there's not the level of examples out there in the marketplace, but I do think there are early cases where you're able to demonstrate to your board where the value is, and I think through experimentation, if you're still in a mood of I need a business case, I need a 3-year transformation, then you're approaching this the wrong way. It's around experimentation, but at the right time that you see that value, scaling on a wider scale. So it's really determining where you want to start, working with key partners, and most importantly getting the right talent in place. This is not an IT story. It needs to be driven from the business value perspective because it has the potential to disrupt your business model. And if you're not experimenting today, then you're running the risk that in the future you're going to be disrupted. So even if it's to experiment to learn, we're advising clients now to work and start small and scale fast once they've had success.
And what does Deloitte have to offer?
Deloitte Digital is we're really bring creative skills and consulting skills together. We have a global team focusing on IoT, very much around the advisory side at the moment, but increasingly implementation capabilities too.
How many people globally work on IoT?
We have an active community of around 1,000 people. We have a team here of 150 in Deloitte Digital in Amsterdam, in our studio, in the Edge, the most connected building in the world at the moment, or at least this week. Really focusing on IoT, we probably have a team of around 25 dedicated practitioners. So we're starting small, and we're hopefully with clients scaling as the journey continues. So we don't have all the answers, but we do have a framework and a perspective to offer to our clients.
For anyone who wants to make a business out of IoT products or technologies, what's the best piece of advice?
Best piece of advice is start. Don't plan too much, but really have a clear strategy. Work with the right players in your ecosystem. This is absolutely the first time the ecosystem is paramount to success. So you have to think from an ecosystem perspective. And I would say pick your niche. There's such a huge opportunity here. A lot of our clients are just looking for demystification of IoT and where to start. So if you're able to provide a concrete answer to a concrete problem and a concrete customer need, then you've got to begin. And then it's a question of scaling. So many of the technology vendors are coming from different starting points, whether that's manufacturing, whether that's logistics. So they're focusing on the areas of their comfort at the moment, but are wanting to broaden into the IoT platform. And I think the analytics piece, it's all about information, so the analytics and augmented intelligence piece is going to be crucial to driving value. So that's, if I was where my money was in the startup world, I'd be putting my money there and driving it forward with a good ecosystem play.
In analytics, where your money goes.
Yeah. Analytics.
Thank you.
Insight. Okay, thanks.
Insight analytics?
No, moving information to insight to action. So information and analytics is fine, but if you're not able to turn it into action, then you're not creating value.